Okay, so this is going to be an instructional / overview video of this brand new 2026 Hymer Ayers Rock. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the camper van and then we will go into the habitation area. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to open the bonnet. Two reasons for this: one, so you know how to open the bonnet, and then two, I'm going to show you where the terminal points are in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So if you come around to the passenger side, and then if you open the passenger door, you'll see at the side of the dash the bonnet release catch. All you need to do, pull that down once and that will then release. Also, while we are in the cab area, the front windscreen has blackout blinds. All you need to do is just this little tab here, pinch it, and basically they will slide and meet in the middle on a magnet and join on a magnetic strip. On the driver and passenger door, same again, you got a little tab, pinch it, slide across all the way to the end, and then they meet at the end on a magnetic strip. Do it in reverse and then clip it back into place. Also, underneath the passenger seat, we just have, there's a couple of fuses in here, but this is not relating to the habitation side. And then under the driver's seat, there is just a bit of storage because your leisure batteries are in the rear underneath the floor. And just a piece of mind, just so you know, the engine battery is underneath this floor here in the footwell. So as you can see, I've now got access to the bonnet area. Like I said, the main reason is to show you the terminal points in case you need to jump start the vehicle. So your negative terminal point is just here on this nipple here, and then your positive will be down here, which is underneath a cover. So that's going to be your positive terminal point. Also, while we are in the engine area, your screen wash fill is in front of the driver. So now we are going to carry around the external of the camper van. Just so you know, this camper van does come with an awning, and you'll get sent a separate link on the email how to set up and use the awning. So we will carry around on the passenger side where we left. Next to the passenger door, we have your diesel fill just behind this cover. So if you want to fill up your diesel, you need to use your vehicle blade key. That will give you access to the top one, and then underneath is your AdBlue fill, which is just a screw cap. Here we have your Truma flue vent. So this is where the fumes do exhaust from when it's on the solid fuel. Down below that we have your grey waste. So this is where your grey waste drains from. To open this valve, though, it's electronic and it's controlled in the cab area, just to the right hand side of the steering wheel. Above that, as you can see, we are connected to mains hookup. So this is going to charge up the leisure batteries, as well as give us 240 volt mains sockets. And then next to that we have your toilet cassette. I'm just going to open this cassette now. So as you can see, we have now got access to the cassette area. So if we want to take out the cassette to empty or clean, what we need to do is lift this orange tab up, slide the cassette towards you, and that will then release. And then if we want to then empty the toilet cassette, how we empty it is this orange nozzle on the left, twist it out to the left, take this grey cap off, and then when we tilt up the cassette, all the fluids will flow out. This button at the top, on the top right, if you press and hold that down with your thumb while tipping, that lets air into the top of the cassette, so the vacuum, it releases the vacuum and it flows out a lot easier. Other than that, you can actually open the toilet cassette blade manually, clean internally with a hose pipe, or if you want to put your chemical in there before you put it back in place, you can. And then to put your cassette back into place, all you need to do is align it, slide it back, and then the main thing here is just making sure that this orange tab is down secure, so then your cassette is not going to move in or out in transit. Next to that, we have your freshwater fill. So you take the cap off with a habitation key, put your hose pipe in, and then when the water starts to come back out of here, or you see water underneath on the overflow pipe coming out, that means your freshwater tank is completely full. So that is everything on the passenger side. As you can see, this vehicle has been spec'd with a rear ladder step, but I think you can buy accessories what go into this rail as well. So now I'm going to open the back doors, and then we will go and I'll show you what's on the back side of this vehicle underneath the bed. So as you can see, we've now got access to the rear of the camper van with the back doors open. On this side we've got some fold out camping chairs, got storage in here. Currently we've got obviously all your components, manuals and stuff in there, and then as you can see we have got an external shower point, so that is on a trigger there, and then you have got your controls for the hot and cold on the tap there. Next we have your gas locker, which is in here. So you can fit one tank in here. You can probably squeeze an 11 kilogram tank, and then that will connect onto this orange hose here up to the gas regulator. Just one tip on this hose here, it's currently tied up so I can't pull it, but basically it's got a purger, so that black button there, if you turn the gas on, you do need to push this purger in, and that will release the gas through the system. And here we have got a grey waste hose. Basically what this does is just extends the grey waste from the nozzle, which I've shown you before. You connect onto the end of it, and then it gives you an extra meter, so if you're not directly over a grid, you can then extend this just to reach a grid. And the last compartment in the rear is going to be at the side of the LPG locker, which is going to be behind here. So take this cover off, and that will then give you access to your 12 volt fuse system. So this is where you need to check if obviously one of the 12 volt fuses pops. This is where you will check and change that 12 volt fuse. So that is running the habitation. And then above that, this has been fitted with an inverter, and you've got three settings on this inverter at the top there. So you've got on at the top, so this is when you are off grid, you'll turn it on. And then there is another switch in the habitation which we'll get to, which is an on or off button as well. And then in the middle on the rocker switch you've got off, so that is the inverter off. And then the bottom one is CHR, which is you put it on, you turn that on to CHR when you are plugged into mains hookup. So this will then charge the ledge batteries as well as give you 230 volt mains socket. So I'd always leave it on CHR and then use the rocker switch in the habitation, which I'll show. So then when you do plug into mains hookup, everything's being charged. But then obviously if you want to use the inverter, you can turn on the rocker switch internally as well. So that is everything at the rear of the camper van. So now we are going to go into the habitation area, and I'll start from the front and work my way backwards. Actually, before I do that, is underneath this floor here, that is where your lithium batteries are stored. So you've got two on this side and one on the left. So yeah, that is where your lithium batteries are currently located. And underneath the bed, obviously you've got some storage here, which is access there. You've got two drawers, cupboard, another slim cupboard, and then at the end, which I'll show you better, it's a fold out step for the bed. And as you can see, we have got a rail system in here, so you can get some clamps to go into there to tie anything down if you have got anything in there as well. So just before we do go in the habitation, we have an external barbecue point. So this is just a quick release connection. You take this red rubber ring off at the end, and basically you clip on a quick release connection on there, and then obviously to the appliance, i.e. your barbecue. So that is external barbecue point. You need to turn obviously the LPG tank on and then turn this valve to release the gas. So now we are going to go into the habitation area, and we have a sliding door, and then we do have a fly screen. On the fly screen, just pull it gently. You don't want to twist it so it comes out of the rail or get stuck, but pull it gently, and then obviously that will slide into place. One thing to keep in mind is you need to put the fly screen away before shutting the sliding door. The reason for that is this big piece of rubber, this stopper, will hit the fly screen when it is closing. We've got an electric slide out step, which you can see there, which is controlled by these buttons here, like so. So now we are in the habitation area. So on your controls at side of the steering wheel, so that one there is P for your parking, so that's for your electronic handbrake. We have your grey waste release valve, so that will only work when you have got when the engine's off. I think when you start the engine, the valve automatically closes, and then below that there is a step symbol, and basically what that means is when you start the engine, say if you've got all comfortable ready to set off, you start the engine and you hear a beep, you can press that button and it will slide in your step, so you don't have to move anywhere. And then driver and passenger do have heated seats on this vehicle. Like I say, all Hymers are spec dependent, so this has been fitted with heated seats, which is on a rocker switch, which will only work when the engine is running again. So directly above the habitation area, the habitation door, sorry, we have your control panel. So on your control panel, we've got quite a few settings on here. I'm going to try and show you them the best as possible. So we've got 12 volt system. So 12 volt is currently lit up in a orangey colour. So that means the 12 volt system's on. Next to it, there's a plug socket. That means I am connected to shore. So when you're at campsite and you plug in, that will light up, give you an indication you're connected. If that doesn't light up, that means there's a fault somewhere. Most of the time it's the campsite, because they do reduce the power they give you. It could be a faulty post, it could be a faulty cable, or something's tripped in the camper van, which we do have a 230 volt breaker in here, which we'll get to. And then the last one there is going to be your water pump. So only turn on your water pump when you've got water in the system, because you don't, the taps are run off a micro switch. If you open a tap ever so slightly, it will run that pump if it's left on. So you want to make sure there's water in the system, because so that pump is not running dry and could potentially burn out. And then we've got quite a few settings in here. You've got your commercial, so you've got your lights. You can turn all your lights on from here, on and off, or you can turn them on and off from the switches. You've got your fridge, so you can turn the fridge on from here as well, or turn it on from the fridge. You've got personal, so the lights, these are the lights at the rear of the camper van. So you've got brightness, which dims them all together, and then you've got light temperature. You can do cool or warm. Heater, so you can turn your heater on from here if you wanted to, so you can run it off electric, diesel or electric, or you can do both. And you could turn your hot water on from here as well. Me personally, I'd always try and use the control panels, the original ones, instead of using this. Once you get used to using this system, you can use this. The biggest thing what you don't want to do is switch something on here, and you look at your control panel for the Truma system and it's not showing what you've asked it to do on here. There is a bit of a delay for it to turn on, or to set the settings you've set on this control panel, just because they're trying to talk to each other. Again, most of this is duplicating itself, but you've got the 12 volt system, so you can turn that on and off from here. your boiler, which is your hot water, but on the heating control it had boiler at the bottom there. Again, water pump, you can turn it on and off from here. Vehicle details, you've got your fresh water level, gives you a rough percentage gauge and grey waste. Power, gives you battery level, volts, state of charge, remaining charge time, shows that we are connected to mains hookup. Solar voltage, solar current, and then you can buy some wireless sensors as well from Hymer. So like I say, the main thing is your home screen. That's what you'll probably use the most to turn on 12 volt and it gives you a rough gauge of obviously the levels, batteries, vehicle battery, fresh water on there as well. So as you can see, we've got swivel captain's chairs. We have got this table here, which then underneath will have a pull out pin there, and that will swivel that table around. If you wanted to convert this, you could lower this down onto the next rail lower down, to in effect convert that into a single bed. I'm not sure if this has been kitted out with the Down It to Birth package, but the table is still there because it's the same table for them all. It's just you might be missing the cushions. We have got light switches dotted around, USB type C, so they will work off the ledger battery, and then your 3-pin socket works obviously when you are on mains hookup, or if you're off grid running it off the inverter. In this cupboard here, this is where we have your Truma control panel. On your Truma control panel, you'll get sent a separate link how to use this control panel. The only difference is on the control panel that you'll be sent, it will say about gas, but this one will be running off diesel or electric, not gas. And then you've got a blanking plate there, and then this is the switch I was talking about your inverter. So this is what you need to switch on to give your 3-pin sockets power when needed, if you're off grid or on grid. Underneath the table we have got some storage, but in that tube there underneath that next one, that is where your water filter will be located, just in case you are looking for that or wanting to change it. In this cupboard here under the bench seat we've got a few things. So this side is your 240 volt mains breaker. So this is when you are connected to mains hookup. If you're off grid, this is what's running off the inverter. So if you're off grid, something trips on the 230 volt on your sockets, just check this. It is just protecting obviously your inverter and your appliances. On campsite, this is where you need to check, but this is where your breakers are in case you need to check if anything is tripped. This little device down here, it's called a frost protect valve, and that is for your boiler. So you need to come here to shut this valve to fill up your boiler. And how we do that, there is a little sticker here indicating that, but I'm going to briefly show you. And basically, if we want to fill up the boiler, we need to twist the valve, diamond valve on top, and then push this blue button in. If the blue button stays in, that means that the valve is completely shut. And what this is, like I say, it's called a frost protect valve. Basically, it will trigger automatically at 6 degrees or less. So basically, if you've left the camper van and it's gone really cold, and there's no heating in here, and you've left water in the Truma boiler, this will automatically trigger to drain the water out of the boiler to protect the boiler, because that's the expensive part. If you want to drain this manually, all you need to do, twist the diamond valve on top, the blue button will pop out, and that will drain all the water out of the boiler. If you try pushing this button in, as you can see, it's not staying in. It's because the valve is triggered to stay open. So if you want to close it, twist the valve on top, push the button in. Then when you prime your camper van with water, prime the system, that means it's not going to drain straight out and miss the boiler. In front of that there is a little piece floor removal bar, and again it's got another sticker underneath indicating the valves, but these two valves you need to close or open these. If you open them, you drain in any excess water from the pipework, which is going to drain out. So when you open them, that's when you're obviously not using the camper van. And then you need to shut these two valves as well when you are wanting to prime the pipework and your water system. So now we are going to go over the kitchen area. So the first thing, we have got a domestic fridge which you can open on both sides. So if you get your shopping and want to load it in the fridge from your trolley outside, you can do that, which is great. But if you want to turn this on, how you do this is press and hold this button in the middle, and then it will then power on like so. So this is called a compressor fridge. It runs off your leisure battery, but because this one's been kitted out with 3 lithium batteries, you won't have to worry at all. It can just run, obviously you've got enough power to probably last you 2 to 4 days with everything on in the camper van, but it's all dependent on obviously how much you are using on your batteries. The biggest thing is obviously because you've got an inverter, you can drain them batteries a lot faster because you can plug higher appliances in. So back to your fridge, I've turned it on. If I want to select the temperature, just tap the dial and then twist it, and then I can select my desired temperature. If it's the first time turning it on, before I go away, just turn it on full, get it cooled down. You can go through the settings, you can click down here to CI. You've got user mode, so then performance, so we've got quiet, try and show you there, we've got quiet, so that is when you're in effect night mode. If you put it on quiet mode, it runs the speed of the RPM speed of the fan, quieter. And then you've got boost, so I would put it on boost. The reason for that, I put it on boost because I want to get the fridge cool as fast as possible before I fill it. So this will get the fridge cooled down fast as possible. I think it stays on boost for about 30 minutes and automatically then goes back to normal mode. But once you've got cold stuff in there, that will maintain it as well. And then obviously when your engine's running, when you are travelling, your engine will be charging up the leisure batteries as well, split charging. To turn this fridge off, all you need to do is press and hold in the middle and it will then shut down like so. 3-pin socket, light switches. These switches will actually, one of them will be your external awning light. And then we do have a little shelf which clips onto here just to give you a bit more working space as well in the kitchen area. We've got a 2-ring gas burner. So on your gas burner, one safety advice we recommend is after using the gas stove is just to make sure this glass cover is left up, especially obviously if you've got the sliding door open or the window, the cold air is hitting the back and then the stove is still hot, you could potentially shatter it. And then on the dials, you push down to ignite. They both got the igniter in them as well, and then obviously that will release the gas. On your sink, we have got a swivel tap and then hot and cold. So what we're going to do now is prime our camper van with water, with prime our system basically. We're going to do this dry. So basically the first thing we're going to do is shut all the drain valves in the camper van. So the first one, we need to shut our fresh water drain valve, which I've not got to yet, but it is underneath this floor here, which I'll show you. So we need to shut fresh water drain valve. That's number one. Number two, make sure the grey waste is shut, just so when you are filling, water's just not pouring straight out. So fresh water, grey waste. Then we'll shut the frost protect valve in that cupboard there. So that's the boiler. And then underneath that little compartment down there, the two little valves as well. So you've got 5 valves to shut: fresh water, grey waste, frost protect valve, and the 2 little valves down there on the pipe work. So once you've shut all them, what we can do is come to our control panel, turn on the power, turn on the water pump, and then open the tap on the cold side. Once we get a steady flow of water on the cold side, it's going to vent out all the air. Once we get steady water on the cold side, which will only take a couple of seconds, shut the tap. The pipe work on the cold side of the system is primed. Now we'll twist the tap to the hot side, and what we're going to do is open the tap, and what it's going to do is it's going to take a minute or so longer, but it's going to take water from the fresh water tank, and then it's going to fill your boiler up. Your boiler holds between 10 to 12 litres of fresh water. Once your boiler is full, it will then carry on through the pipework, come through the tap. Again, when you get a steady flow of water on the hot side, shut the tap. That means your pipework, your boiler is primed, ready to use when you need. The only thing you do need to do is to turn on the Truma control panel if you want hot water. The hot water is not instant, you do have to boil it, which is controlled by the control panel. We've got storage, loads of drawers here, and then in this top one we've just got 2 internal gas valves. So one of them be for your hob. So basically, if the hob goes faulty, you can isolate that and still use the other appliance on gas, and the other appliance will be your external gas point. We've got obviously your traverse bed space here, and then these can fold up as well and fold out the way. There is some straps to hold it in place, but they can fold out the way. So basically it creates this middle part. If you wanted to put a bike in the middle through the back, you can do. There is 3-pin socket up there, Type C, USB, and as you can see, you've got speakers at the rear as well. Got light switches here, and then as I was saying earlier, we have got in this little slide out here, got a fold out step just to give you ease to climb up onto the bed. And then to release that, there is, say if this locks into place, it's hard to show you, but down there is a little pin that you need to pull out, so then you can slide this step back into place. You got a little bit of hanging space in there as well, and then underneath the floor here, this is where your fresh water tank is. And the only reason you need to come here, again, there'll be a sticker like so underneath. So these stickers indicate how this valve works. So if we want to fill this fresh water tank completely full, twist it to the left, and basically once it gets a little bit tight, that valve is completely closed. When we fill up our water tank, it will fill up completely full. If we want to travel with 20 litres, so as you can see there's a gauge on there to a rough 20 litres. How we drain it to 20 litres is once the tank is completely full, if you quarter turn to the right, that will open the valve a little bit, drain all the water out, and give you a rough 20 litres for travelling in. If you want to drain the fresh water tank completely empty, just 2 full turns to the right will open the valve completely full and drain all the water out of the fresh water tank. So the last part to go through is your shower cubicle / toilet cubicle. So it's all built in one. You've got a duct board down there, so you may want to remove that when having a shower. It's personal choice. You've got your toilet, so if you want to use your toilet, you need to use this blade and basically slide it across. That will open the toilet cassette. After use, just make sure you close it, just so no smells are coming back up. We've got heating vent in here as well, so this can be dried out. If you've got any wet gear, we can hang it up on the ceiling, which I will get to. The blue button, that is going to use fresh water from the fresh water tank to flush out the toilet. You do need to turn on the 12-volt system for this to work. And then to the left of it, there's a little symbol what looks like a toilet cassette, and that will light up orange/red when the cassette is full. Here we've got a mixer tap, and then this does convert into your shower head as well. We've got a fold out sink, so when you are using the sink, it's got a drain already built in. Any excess though, you just tip it up and it drains away. And then we've got storage at the top there as well. There is a 3-pin socket in there, and that is your light switch. And then, as I was saying, we've got a hanging rail at the top, so if you've got any wet equipment, wet clothes or your towel, you can dangle them in here. You can open the roof skylight as well, or you can just turn the heating on to dry out. So in effect you've got a dry in place, so it's quite a nice bit of kit in the different reasons of way of use. So that is the instructional / overview video complete of this brand new 26 model Hymer Ayers Rock. If you've got any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call. We do have more of these available, and we can factory spec yours today.